Hey y'all, welcome back to At Home with Chef Jolie. And if you're true to this and not new to this, welcome back. Today, I got a classic recipe for you, my 5-layer beef lasagna. And with that, one of my newest favorite cocktails, a Blackberry Bourbon Smash. I don't want to keep y'all waiting too long, so come on in, let's get started.
Tell me now, are you hungry? Looking for something for your tummy? Well, look no further. This chef is got you covered. Cooking at home with Chef Jolie.
Okay, y'all, everybody loves Italian food, loves pasta, lasagna, one of my favorites, one of my family's favorites. But first, a cocktail. So, you know, this whole bourbon whiskey smash thing, at first, I was kind of hesitant when I would see it on menus at restaurants. And then one day I tried it and I was like, ooh, we got something here. So I decided that I wanted to share one of my favorite recipes with you. It's the Blackberry Bourbon Smash. So they call it a smash because you're gonna literally smash together some fruit and some spirits, a little bit of sugar. So I'm gonna go in with about 2 teaspoons of regular white sugar. And I'm gonna go in with about a 1/4 cup. These are frozen blueberries. You can use fresh if you'd like to, but I'm using a combination of frozen and fresh. I'm gonna garnish with the fresh. So that's about 1/4 cup. I got some fresh basil because it's aromatic and it's fresh. It's gonna make that cocktail pop. And lime juice. Y'all know how I feel about the fresh lime juice. So I like it to be a little bit tart. I'm gonna use a whole lime, juice of a whole lime. And then the last thing is gonna be some bourbon. You can't have a bourbon smash without the bourbon. And I said last, but I'm gonna put a little drizzle of simple syrup in there as well, just to make sure I balance that tart from the lime. And sometimes blackberries can have a little bit of tartness. So just a teeny bit, maybe about a half, maybe that's like a 1/4 of an ounce of simple syrup. Now, y'all know I like to eyeball my spirits. I'm going to eyeball that's about an ounce, about a 1/2 ounce. And I'm gonna take my muddler. I think this is the first time I'm using this tool on At Home with Chef Jolie. So get you a whole little cocktail shaker set, get you a muddler. If you don't have a muddler, you know what else works real good? A wooden spoon. That works just as well. And I know y'all were asking me about mocktails. You could do this as a mocktail. Just switch out the bourbon and you can put in, you know, your favorite fruit juice. Maybe some grape juice or something like that. And then you can top it with a club soda like I'm gonna do. So I got it all muddled up. Then I'm gonna go in and put some ice and I'm gonna shake it. And then we're gonna pour it over crushed ice. And then y'all know I gotta taste it, right? How else am I gonna tell y'all how great it is if I don't know, okay? Okay, I think that's good. Now we're gonna strain it into our little old-fashioned glass right here. Let me take this off. There we go. Okay. Look at that beautiful purple color. Y'all know that's my favorite color. Okay, now we're gonna top it with club soda. Ooh, I can taste it. Mouth is watering already, child. You know I gotta make it pretty. So I have some fresh mint here. I'm gonna put just a sprig of mint. And here are my fresh blackberries. Just gonna go on the side like that. Quality control time. So refreshing. I have no clue why I waited so long to try these bourbon and whiskey smashes. It's gonna go beautifully with this 5-layer classic beef lasagna that we're about to cook up next. So cheers. Try this recipe. It's down in the description box. Make sure you subscribe as well. Turn on your notifications so you'll always know when I'm cooking something delicious. Let's go make this lasagna. Okay, y'all, it's time to build this 5-layer lasagna. I like to say it's layers to this because it is. Right now, I have about 2 pounds of ground beef. You can use ground turkey. You can use plant-based beef if you like to. And then I have about half a pound of ground turkey sausage. Y'all know I don't eat pork, so I got the turkey sausage. If you're a vegetarian, you can dice up some veggies to take the place of the meat if you don't like plant-based meat. But it's pretty good. I like plant-based meat. I'm gonna season it with a dab of douya, because a dab of douya, right? So I'm not gonna waste time going over every single measurement because the recipe is in the description as usual. I think I need a couple more dabs. And then I'm just gonna incorporate it. I've already drained off the fat. So you wanna make sure you do that part too. I've done that ahead of time. Incorporating the adabaduya, and then the next seasoning that I'm gonna add is a little bit of Italian seasoning because it is a classic lasagna. I have a couple of variations of lasagna recipes, so I need y'all to comment below. Tell me if you want to learn how to make my seafood lasagna that has crawfish, crab, and shrimp. I have a barbecue chicken lasagna that's real good. So let me know if y'all wanna learn how to make that too. But we're gonna start with the classic. So I got a adabaduya. I have some Italian seasoning all in there, and the meat is still a little bit pink, but that's okay because I have my red sauce, which is marinara, that I'm going to pour over this, and it's gonna bubble and incorporate, and it's gonna keep cooking. So if you were watching on season 1 of At Home with Chef Jolie, then you already have this recipe for my red sauce. If you haven't, just go back to season 1 and watch it and grab that recipe. It's the same recipe. So I'm gonna add my marinara here to the meat sauce. And one of the things that's important too is to make sure and break up your meat. You know, you don't wanna have some really big chunks and really small chunks. Try to break it all up together. It really helps with the layering process of your lasagna. So I'm gonna let this come together and get real tasty. And while that's happening, what I have here is my ricotta cheese. I know some people use cottage cheese. I never quite understood the cottage cheese in lasagna, but you know, to each his own. I say trust your gut, not the recipe. Unless it's my grandmother's mac and cheese, then you know you trust that recipe 100%, okay? So I have, I have here my ricotta, and I'm gonna grab that spoon because I need this to mix the ricotta. Got it, my sink is clean. I clean my sink before I start cooking. I hope you do too. I have some eggs. I'm gonna add that to my ricotta. Then I'm going to add some shredded Parmesan cheese, and that's gonna give it a little bit of salt, but you want your ricotta to have some flavor too, so a dab of douya. I mean, what else you gonna use, right? So I'm gonna add a little bit of a dab of douya, and I like just a little bit of heat. Not a lot, but just a little bit of heat. So I have some crushed red pepper flakes, and I'm gonna add a little bit to this. And then I'm just gonna mix this mixture all really well. And that is gonna be my ricotta mixture that's gonna go between the layers of the lasagna. So y'all know I always like to give y'all the cheat codes, right? So you can build this lasagna up to, I'm gonna say 48 hours in advance, right? And then just pop it in the oven on 350 when you're ready to prepare it and serve it. You could also build it and not put it in the oven and freeze it. And then whenever you're ready, you have lasagna for your family or for yourself, you know? It's ready to go. So this is all getting nice and good, and I think it's time for us to come back and show you how I'm gonna build these layers, and hopefully we'll have a beautiful lasagna for you to present and share and eat. So let's go do that. Okay. Oh, we're back. All right, it is time to build this lasagna. Couple of little hacks for you. Some of y'all may know, some of you may not, but this is going to save your life. It is oven ready lasagna. I used to boil those lasagna noodles. They get stuck together, then they start tearing and get sticky. Leave that stuff alone and get you some oven ready lasagna, okay? So first things first, down in the bottom of the pan is a little bit of marinara. So I saved some of my marinara before adding it to the ground meat. You could add the meat sauce if you wanted to, but this is just gonna go on the bottom. I want my meat in the layers. So I'm just using just some regular marinara. So first layer going down. Easy as 1, 2, 3. Next layer is going to be the meat sauce. I'm gonna put it on, spread it out, just like that. Y'all comment below and tell me if you have any tips or tricks or hacks with how to make the perfect lasagna. I know one of the hardest parts is getting ready to, when you cut it, and then it all kind of sinks in and falls apart. So hopefully when I bake this, it won't do it. And then I can share with you how I avoid that. Next, I'm going with my ricotta. And I tend not to do ricotta on every single layer. So out of the 5 layers, I might do it on 3, something like that. So we got the ricotta in there. Now we're going back with layer number 2. And you just repeat this, just like I am doing. Meat sauce, so forth and so on, like that. And make sure you save a little bit of meat sauce for that 5th layer, because before I put my mozzarella cheese on, I just sprinkle just a little bit of meat sauce, what's left, on top, because I like to see that like marinara and that meat sauce kind of peeking through the cheese. I don't know what it is, but it just makes me feel good. Might make you feel good too. So just save a little bit for yourself. Okay, that's layer number 2. Layer number 3, I'm gonna skip the ricotta on that layer, and it's okay. You see how my pasta just broke right there? That's okay, you don't have to switch that out. It's gonna all come together. You won't be able to tell once you bake it. So when you bake it, you're gonna go into 350 or 375 degree oven. I kind of go back and forth these days. Just depends on how I'm feeling. You're gonna cover it with foil. Make sure you spray the top of your foil, the inside, because you don't want that cheese, once it starts melting, to stick to the foil. And then when you take your foil off, all the cheese come with it. Then you gotta start over and stuff. So spray the top of the foil. Ricotta. I'm talking to y'all and I'm getting all off track. So I think that's layer number 3, right? So we got 2 more layers to go. There's my ricotta, layer number 4. And I am gonna do some ricotta on that layer. Okay, meat sauce. Are y'all keeping up with me? Is this layer number 4? I hope so. If it's not, then you know the recipe's in the bottom. It's gonna be 5 layers when we get done with this. But I think this is layer number 4. This layer number 4, y'all? Anybody in here? I don't know if they're keeping up or not. They just want it to get finished so they can partake and eat it. But I think this is 4. I can tell by the amount of meat sauce that I have left that this is layer number 4. Yeah, that's how you know. You look at your sauce and see what's left. All right, ricotta. And then we have the 5th layer. Then we're gonna top it with lasagna. I don't know, y'all know every episode my mouth be watering because I know how delicious this is gonna be. Hopefully your mouth is watering too. Okay, this is all of our ricotta. Now the 5th layer. And it is okay too, if you notice that you're coming up a little bit higher than your baking dish, because once it bakes, it's gonna kind of like, you know, settle in like that. It's It's gonna groove real good and feel real good. And then it'll be perfect. So you don't have to worry about it being too tall. And I would suggest too, put it on a baking dish just in case it starts to bubble a little bit too much, get a little bit too happy. You won't have this big mess in your oven. So just sit the casserole dish or your baking dish on a baking sheet and it'll catch the mess for you. So thank me later. All right, I think that's good. And I have a little bit of marinara left here, so I'm gonna use that up just like that. Now it is the cheese. Mozzarella cheese goes on top just like this. And make sure your oven is preheated. You don't wanna be sitting around waiting for the oven to get hot. And if you were gonna freeze this and bake it later, just let it sit on the counter, maybe about an hour or so that it can cool down. You don't wanna put hot food in the refrigerator or the freezer. And then you get you some saran wrap and you wrap it like your life depended on it, because you don't want it to get freezer burned. And you just sit it in the freezer. And before you get ready to bake it, take it out the freezer overnight, let it thaw, and then pop it in the oven. But we ain't doing that today. We about to go in the oven, 375 degrees, covered with foil for about 45, 50 minutes. Then I'm gonna uncover it, and then I'm gonna turn the broiler on about 425. You know, when you're melting cheese under the broiler, watch it. Don't take your eyes off of it. It can go from real good to real bad real quick. So let's put this in the oven, then we're gonna come back. I got some garlic bread that I'm gonna put with it. That recipe is gonna be in the description too, and we're gonna eat and drink real good. Okay, y'all, it's time to eat. It is time to plate this lasagna. So let me tell you what I did. After it came out of the oven, I let it sit and rest for about an hour or so that it wouldn't, hopefully, fingers crossed, that it doesn't just all sink in on itself. At my catering company, when we do lasagna, we actually cook it the day before, and then we cut it, and it's just perfect cuts, and then we slowly reheat it. So that's what some restaurants do as well. So I've already kind of pre-cut it, and I trimmed the edges a little bit to try to get the perfect square out of here. So let's see what happens. I'm gonna move that to the side, and I'm gonna scoop. There we go. I think we got it. Coming up. Let me cut a little bit more right here. There we go. Here we go. Drum roll. Here it comes. Ooh. Y'all, I think that look good. I think it looks delicious. Slide that off of my spatula. And if you like it saucy, or if you just want to be fancy, you can take a little bit of marinara and just go across the top, something like that. There we go. And then, you know, I like my garnishes. I'm gonna garnish it like so. There we go. And I have my garlic bread here, and I put a little Parmesan on there just for kicks, but the recipe for the garlic butter is gonna be down in the description. I'm gonna serve it like that. There it is. That's the 5 layers. Count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers of the classic beef lasagna. So I guess y'all want me to taste it to tell y'all how great it is. So let me do that right now. Here we go. I don't even know what side I want to come at this at. This looks like a good side to me. Oh, this is so filling. All right, here we go. Let's try not to get dirty, Jolie. Slap everybody mama. All of them. That right there, that's the one. That's my 5-layer classic beef lasagna. You want this recipe, You want all my other recipes? Comment below. Tell me if you want those other lasagnas we talked about. Subscribe to my channel, At Home with Chef Jolie. Turn on your notifications. Share these videos and recipes with everyone else. And you know, y'all just come back over the next time I'm cooking something delicious and something amazing and something thirst quenching. Thank you for being at home with Chef Jolie.
Tell me now, are you hungry?